Hello everyone, this is Akhier, and we're back in the SCP Foundation for Pride Fest 2026. Woo! I was considering, you'll notice that there is an SCP featured here. There is a particular reason I will not be reading this one today. Oh, look at that! A warning. So, let's close that out. Close any of the... Okay, good. Just spoilers for what's to come. So instead of that, I went and checked out what the whole... On the right, there we go. Here we go. It's just the whole Pride Fest thing for this. And it's official and everything, so that's cool. Yes. If you aren't okay with this, I don't want you here in the first place. Go figure. But anyway, the works, the big thing that was like, or not that, the features. Because I was like, oh, they're doing daily features, and generally, you know, SCP stuff isn't the longest. Maybe I could catch up or something. It's only the 9th and... or 8th? 8th. It's the 8th. June 8th. Dates and stuff. When I record this, obviously. But then I was like, oh wait, not all these are the SCPs, and I wasn't intending to not do SCP, so I'm like, oh, I'll do the one for today, which I just showed you why I'm not going to do that, because I like having a channel. And the channel's not big enough that I could ignore that. Also, I didn't read them, so I don't know how integral the depicted things would be to the story of the SCP involved. So, instead, we are going to be doing not 906, but 8063, which, if I go to the next one, is Trans Elder Thing. So that's what I'm going to be reading today. Because when you open that up, you're just introduced to this, where it's just open. I'm not sure how long it is, but even if it's short, it's a video. Right after this, I'm going to be being annoyed at traffic. Goodness gracious. Right after this, I'm going to be reading... some more Lovecraft. Part 2 of the Innsmouth book, and it's long. So, yeah. Oh, and this is completely the YouTuber role, but if you're cool with trans and various other stuff, leave a like. Gotta do that YouTuber thing. Anyway, yeah. Trans Elder Thing. Maybe I should instead read the, no, that's also a long one. The city in the, one of the polls. I can't remember the name at the moment. Okay. SCP-8063. Object Class. Originally Euclid, now changed to Thaumiel. Special Containment Procedures. SCP 8063 is to be contained at Site 19 in a double-height humanoid containment cell. It is to be provided with 1 kilogram of raw flounder, cod, or other benthic bony fish once per day, except for during testing. SCP 8063 should not be allowed to see any Foundation personnel. Observation should be made using cameras or from behind one-way glass. Where did I put my... Just remembered I have my fancy green controller here so I can control this better. Speaking of controller, yeah, that still works. Okay. Update as of 5/19/21. Following incident 8063-1, skip 8063, is to be interviewed daily. These interviews should be conducted using D-class personnel diagnosed with gender dysphoria. I know the word. I stumbled on it still. I do that on occasion. Each interview should be conducted by sending the D-class subject into Skip 8063's chamber while fitted with an earpiece and microphone. The subjects are to be instructed to repeat Skip 8063's telepathic communications verbally after responding. Following these interviews, the subject is to be interrogated to determine whether they have been provided with the plans for construction of any Skip 8063-B instances. Okay. Skip 8063 is an anomalous entity originally contained during a Foundation seafloor survey of Point Nemo. Located at, footnote 1, located at 83 degrees 52.6 south, or I'm not sure how to read that. I should look that up at some point. Point Nemo is the location on Earth's surface farthest from any landmass, commonly used as a spacecraft graveyard. The entity exhibits five-fold symmetry, similar to that of a mundane starfish, with 5 eye stalks surrounding a mouth at the anterior end of its body, and 5 tentacles extending from the posterior end of its body. While motile, Skip 8063 has rarely been observed to move while in containment, except when prompted to by direct request. Skip 8063 is incapable of human speech, but can communicate via telepathy with individuals in its line of sight. Approximately every 28 days, Skip 8063 releases a cloud of haploid spores from spongiform tissue on its abdomen. This appears to cause Skip 8063 substantial psychological distress, but no observable physical damage. Though generally cooperative with Foundation staff, Skip 8063 persistently refuses to answer questions pertaining to its own identity, personal history, or the existence of other members of its species. As Skip 8063 bears a resemblance to figures in bas-relief carvings found in the blank ruins in Maria Beardland. Footnote 2. The largest unclaimed territory of Antarctica. That's where I was thinking of. I say as if I knew which one it was. I know there's Arctica and Antarctica. I'm not the best at keeping them separate. It's never been very relevant to me. Foundation archaeological expeditions have identified numerous ruined cities of the blank civilization buried beneath its ice sheets. Oh, there we go! I still can't remember the name of the book, and I don't know how. Oh well. Replicas of these carvings were placed within the entity's enclosures with the hope that they would prompt it to provide details about the blank civilization. Instead, Skip 8063 destroyed the replicas and refused to communicate with researchers for 62 hours. Update as of 5/19/21. Following incident 8063-1, Skip 8063 has been reclassified as Thamiel. Additionally, several secondary anomalies apparently constructed following instructions provided Skip 8063 have been identified. Several of these secondary anomalies have been found to have uses beneficial to the wider Foundation. Interrogation with goals of producing more such secondary anomalies are ongoing. B1, a chemical compound which, when ingested, alters the structure of a subject's body. Derived uses: performance enhancement for mobile task force operatives. Other uses classified level 5-8063. Something in my throat. Not good when I'm trying to read. Footnote 3. Subject identifying as male experienced a decrease in body fat. I am apparently stumbling on all my words today, particularly around the buttocks and breast. coupled with an increase in muscle mass, bone density, height, and body hair. Subjects identifying as female experience an increase in body fat, especially around the buttocks and breast, and a decrease in muscle mass and size, bone density, height, and body hair. Oh, that is convenient. What do you know? B-2. A syringe which makes use of higher dimensional geometry to penetrate skin without pain and guide itself away from veins and arteries. Intramuscular autoinjectors, vaccine needles, ongoing research into hypergeometry focusing on uses in weapons development. Footnote 4. Also known as hypergeometry, a set of physical and mathematical techniques which can be used to shape and fold mundane materials in anomalous ways. B3. Thaumaturgical. I was trying to add a la in there for some reason. I have no clue why. Thaumaturgical technique which causes the user's endocrine system, tried to add a T to that one, to begin producing the sex hormones of a healthy member of the opposite sex. Derived uses? None. This is just a nice bit of E for the ones that need it. Or some T if that is instead your preferred way to go about things. Incident 8063-1 report. On May 11, 2021, Dr. Anna Mose submitted a name and gender change. Dr. Mose's physician, Dr. Hubert Grant, noted that Dr. Mose had not been prescribed hormone replacement therapy or diagnosed with gender dysphoria, but did exhibit signs of prolonged hormone therapy, as DIY, hormone therapy that is conducted outside of an official prescription by a licensed clinician, as footnote 5. Which can be dangerous, but in a lot of places, including more and more the US, which sucks massive, horrible, disgusting things, is kind of the way you gotta roll it. And if that's the way you gotta go, I support you 100%. Hormone suppliers are not approved vendors for Foundation staff. An investigation was launched into Dr. Mose's transition. Investigators found that prior to her assignment to the anomaly, Dr. Mose was noted for a lack of enthusiasm, persistent apathy towards her own career, and volatility towards her colleagues. Footnote 6. Symptoms common in staff experience gender dysphoria. Dysmorphia is different. Dysmorphia is similar and generally connected. Dysphoria is just the general, this is the wrong gender. Dysmorphia is specifically the body, because morphia, form. The more you know. Her behavior led to numerous disciplinary warnings and frequent moves between projects. Following her assignment to the SCP 8063 team, however, her work ethic and mood improved to the point that she was considered for promotion. Because if you're trans and you're being forced, or you don't even realize it, and you're stuck in a body and a gender that doesn't match you, that's horrible. And if you are in that condition, I am honestly quite sad for you. You should be able to be who you want to be. And that's just not how the world likes to work right now. Which sucks, because this hasn't always been the case. The honestly idiotic sticks in the mud who just want to be like, it's not natural. Fuck them. First of all, there are animals that literally trans themselves, so not natural. The fact we can't do it when we need it is not natural, as far as I'm concerned. But more to the point, it's not new. It's not new, and it's not even like a bad in a lot of cultures, most cultures that I know of, except for modern ones. The whole idea of being trans, of being other-spirited, or whatever term it is, was sometimes seen either just as a thing, or even celebrated as like spiritual people. just because Christianity decided they didn't like it, which sucks. Like, they're always like, God made you how you are. Yeah, bitch. God made me trans. Well, not me. Let me note, because I have been growing out my hair and stuff, I am not trans. There is some fun words. I haven't found a term for it. But the basic idea is I don't care. And that's not a joke. If I was in one of those animes where it's like all of a sudden it's like, whoop, you're someone else. Whether girl, boy, whatever. Someone else wouldn't bother me. I'm me. That's who I am. I'm me. And that's all that matters to me. I'm lucky like that. A lot of people aren't. Power to anyone that's trans and is able to transition in the climate that we are in. And all my support and love and hope for a better future for those who can't at the moment. Because of the situation the world is in. It's kind of on fire. I'd like to say I wasn't expecting to get this into this kind of thing. But I'm reading about trans elder thing. I knew it was coming. I mean, really. After investigators discovered that Dr. Mose had not purchased DIY hormone therapy, medications, or precursors required for at-home manufacturing, a search of her quarters was conducted. This search found 3 documents, later classified SCP 8063-B-1 through -3, containing instructions which Dr. Mose followed to anomalously complete her gender transition. Dr. Mose was detained and, following interrogation where she revealed that SCP 8063 had communicated the information contained in the documents to her, accused of inappropriate contact with an anomaly. Dr. Mose alleged that the anomaly had wanted nothing in return for this beyond conversation, that it was happy to no longer be alone. At her disciplinary hearing, Dr. Mose was found to have inappropriately made contact with an anomaly, misappropriate Foundation researchers, and inappropriate received medical care from a non-Foundation source. As a result, she was demoted to junior researcher and moved off of the SCP 8063 research team. Following her transfer, her work performance has remained at exceptional levels. There we go. So, the subtext is mostly just text at this point. The elder thing, well, the whole name of the thing is trans elder thing. So, like, if we hadn't read that, we'd have to, like, figure it out from here. But, like, if you know the Lovecraft mythos almost at all, since, goodness gracious. Lovecraft, Antarctica, short story. At the Mountains of Madness. So yeah. The story At the Mountains of Madness is one of the big ones. One of the big stories out there. And it's just going in a team of people exploring the Antarctic. I was about to say the wrong one. And being like, oh shoot, there's this city here. Let's explore it. It's like just all this stuff with the elder things, which are the, how do we pronounce it? 5-way symmetry. And at one point, they were able to fly through space. They came to Earth flying through space. They stayed on Earth for a long while, prehistory kind of stuff. Built up a giant city in Antarctica when it wasn't, Antarctica. Because, like, the planet kind of shifted, so like now what used to be a pole isn't, but what wasn't is now, thus that. And it's like they have this giant city, they explore it a bit, they find some dead and well-preserved elder things, but in reality they're just like, I think some of them are dead, but it's just like crypto bios? No. Suspended animation, which they recover from being in a more out of that place, because the researcher people took them out. And it's like, yep, they come back alive and bad stuff happens. Fun. But here are the general... I can't remember if that book specifically goes into, like, the way they work. But here in the description, it specifically goes that every 28 days, it basically has a gendered, reproductive-based event. It's kind of hard to say because I don't want to imply a specific gender to such an event, because I can't remember if the book specifically did. I don't think it did. I think it was just mostly humans implying it, if it was there at all. But they're not like mammals, so like the whole male-female thing doesn't have to be a thing. Like, there's like a mushroom of like tens of thousands, I think it is, like genders, or maybe hundreds of thousands. Mushroom with most genders. Most genders. Over 20,000 sexes. There we go. But yeah, so I don't want to like imply a specific gender at all, because we have no bearing to judge this. It's a creature literally from beyond the planet. And even on planet Earth, the whole male-female thing is kind of just a trending theme more than anything else. Like, a lot of creatures have things that are not one or the other, or specifically a hard one or the other. And as I said, there is already creatures that one can trans themselves. There's also creatures that are both, including humans. I know the old term for it. I think the current term is intersex, where you end up just naturally, like, having characteristics that would not be described for one or the other. You know what? I'm not going to hash my way through this, because that would be a bad way of doing this. Intersex people are those born with any of several sex characteristics, including hormone patterns, gonads, or genitals that, according to the Office of United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, do not fit typical binary notions of male or female bodies. So, yeah. That's just like, you are displaying traits that do not match what they expect of you. Which is fine. That's natural. It happens. Like, literally, this is just the thing where it happens. And it's not even, like, a small number. Like, I'm seeing here between 1 in 4,500 and 1 in 2,000. So 0.02% to 0.05%. Which sounds small. But there's billions of humans. Billions. That's a lot. I'm saying that because I'm trying to, like, how many zeros is a billion? 1,000 million billion. There we go. 9 zeros and a 1. So if I divide that by... Or not divide. I want times 0.02. 20 million. Like... And that's the low end. Also, like, this is just, like, the ones that they have studies on. Like, you don't have a clue how much this really works. Especially since, even into today, but definitely in the past, just anything that wasn't normal, quote-unquote, hogwash that. You're normal if you're born as a human. What exceeds normal is things that end up being truly unique, or not truly unique, but like, if there are millions of something, in the human race. It's not unique. It's not odd. That's just something that's out there. But, like, used to be that, like, scientists and stuff, if they even admitted it happened, like, oh no, a gay pairing among animals, if they wrote it down at all, it would be in the strictest of Latin with, like, the most, like, horror written into it so that no one could actually know what happened. Nonsense. People deserve to live the life that works best for them. And, like, you shouldn't be forced into something because it makes someone else uncomfortable. That's stupid. Like, if we want to play by those rules, it makes me uncomfortable that you're doing that in the first place. But yeah. I don't know if any of my other videos are going to have anything this topical, just because this channel, both my channels are kind of more of like, I want to create a thing where you can go back and just go back and watch what's going on. And I'm reading stories from a bigot from long time ago. And I'm reading SCP articles and stuff. It's like, I'm not trying to be some kind of social thing. They'll give it a chance, obviously. I'll say something. I'm adding on like 50% more to this video just by going on about it. But yeah, I feel bad for this elder thing, honestly. Oh, that was... If you heard that, that was my controller deciding I hadn't used it in long enough. Let me put that down there. But yeah. Generally, overall, this is an interesting thing. I would expect something more from an... excuse me. I'm from my throat. From an elder thing. However, I also appreciate that it uses telepathy. So it probably knows her situation in such a way that it knows, like, boom, transja, ha ha ha, would be a thing. Also, like, the whole egg metaphor, which I'm assuming the breakdown of the egg structure is, like, in reference to. But the general idea that there are people who either don't realize or don't admit that they are not the gender they think they are. Yeah, it's like in a world like what we live in, there are people that haven't even heard of what trans means in the first place. They are kept in their little bubbles away from any knowledge of what could be. And it pains me. Like, it really sucks that we were doing so well. Things were getting better. It wasn't fast, but, like, it was progressing. And now I just got a bunch of people being really horrible to other humans. Which, well, I guess all I've got to say is that, a number of years ago, there was a center in Germany which was doing a lot of research into this kind of thing. And they collected a big collection of literature on the subject. Like, they were doing proper research, they were exploring these things, and they were coming to good results. They were realizing how things were, and being, like, decent human beings about it. And just like now in the US, a certain government, I think it started with an N, came to power. And they decided they didn't like what that people were doing. And so they torched all the records. Kind of similar how the U.S. government's been like, you gotta remove all mention of trans from the government websites and stuff. They haven't quite gone as far as going to a separate organization, deleting all their content on the stuff. Except it has various negative knock-on effects. One I know specifically from someone that I chat with on a chat thing. It's not even related to trans at all. It's just because trans was in the material, because it was a hormone-related thing, because it was mentioned in the material was removed. And the material in question was like safety dosages and stuff. And that's the stuff that they had to test their own medical stuff against. So yeah, even if you're if I don't know how you're still around after how much I've been kind of bashing on you, but if you're the kind of person that really thinks people like me and trans people and whatnot should die, honestly, just removing us from existence isn't good for you either. Because the human body is weird. And the more data you have on it, the better. And unless you're gonna go down the path of that other government I mentioned earlier, you can't just test on people. Also, when I say the other government I mentioned, I could also mean the U.S. government, because we did that a lot. Like, we're not, the U.S. is not a good place. We are better, I don't know. We have a shorter history to have acquired atrocities. So, there's that. I don't think after doing this I can leave the country, because I think they wouldn't like to let me back in at this point. But whatever. I wasn't planning to leave in the first place, and if I am leaving, honestly, it's probably to seek asylum. Kind of sucks that that's even something I have to think about. But yeah, it's Pride Month. I support it. I'm in it. And if that's not cool with you, you're not cool with me. So skedaddle, boyo. Don't know how you made it here, as I said earlier, but leave a like for Pride Month. And if you want to see more of my usual stuff, subscribe, ring the bell, because I'm gonna keep reading SCP stuff, and I'm gonna keep reading Lovecraft stories and other things too. I've got a thing that's kind of weird. I'm not sure if it is sort of a horror thing, which I'm not sure how I ended up in this little niche I'm starting to go down. I'm not the biggest fan of horror. I think I've said this before, but I enjoy the lore of horror, which is the SCP thing, but like Lovecraft and stuff, the lore behind it, for some reason, catches me. Even more than a lot of lore for other things, horror lore interests me. Here I am. So this is Akhier, and I'm signing off.